All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading the Markets. I'm your host, Vays. Coming to you live on this Monday morning as the markets are open. We're going to go take a look at what's going on. We'll take a look at what economic indicators are in line for this week and how the S&P 500 is doing. No announcements for the moment. So without further ado, let's go to the charts. By the way, what a shit show with the Chinese weather balloon flying across the US and eventually getting shut down. I'm happy to talk about that because it's a total clown show. But we'll talk about it after. This is the Vays transitioning into politics talk. The clown show of a Chinese weather balloon over the United States. Let's go to the charts. Or the clown show, formerly known as the US military. All right. I have not looked at the monthly scale of Bitcoin in quite a while. We usually look at it through the lens of the Heikin-Ashi candles because they just work better with the MRI indicator. That's really the only reason why I'm looking at them. I will peek at the traditional candle, but the traditional candle has not been as clean with the MRI indicator, and that's why I stick with the Heikin-Ashi candles. Weekly chart. See what's going on. The weekly chart has not changed at all. We are currently having another red week candle. The week has just started, however. We're only the first day into this candle, not even 24 hours into the candle. Everything is happening according to plan. It could be a little bit cleaner. We can still rise up a little bit, and we can still top out with the MRI top at the long-term moving average. So while I do have a general arrow pointing to a pullback, if I zoom this in a perfect world, we would actually rise into here over the next 3 weeks and then pull back from there. Because if this happens, it would perfectly coincide with the MRI. So this is where I personally am going to be careful. If we pull back into 21,000 over the next few weeks, or into 20,000 over the next few weeks, and we break the MRI count, I would consider this a beautiful pullback buying opportunity. But if we either next week or even this week start to rally into 25 or 26,000, I would then not necessarily consider the end of the pullback. It could be the end of the pullback, but it could also be the top would have happened, at the end of February instead of the top happening at the end of January, like a lot of us think it just did. So the topping process for Bitcoin is actually in a zone. Oh, let me switch that. Like the topping process is this entire zone. And if it did top right here at 24,000 at the end of January, it actually topped a little bit early. So it topped a little bit prematurely. I think I drew the stop a little bit like wider than it should be. Let me alter that. Like this. Like this is where I wanted to see the top, inside this circle. We topped a smidge on the early side, which is why I will only consider this a top if there is a sufficient pullback. But if there isn't a sufficient pullback, And to me, a sufficient pullback is going below 22,000. And we have not gone below 22,000. So by not going below 22,000, the pullback may not have started yet. And we can still hit a new slightly swing high, then pull back, then go up. But none of this, like this micro analysis of where the local top is and how the pullback's going to come is completely independent on whether the low is in or not. I believe that the low is in. The only way I will change my mind that the low is in is with a fall in price below the 20-week moving average, which is about to start rising super, super quickly, okay? As we start knocking out these prices and replacing them with these prices. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I hope that cleared up a lot of stuff. All right, let's move on. The 4-day chart. The 4-day chart gave us a perfect MRI sell, and I am waiting for a bit of a pullback in order to add to the bullish position, or just waiting for the moving averages to catch up a little bit. Ideally, I want to turn this 40% bullish allocation into an 80% bullish allocation as we come in contact with the long-term moving average as it's rising. All right, guys, real quick, if you are interested in trading and you want to increase your skills on how to trade, I have a free Learn Trading section on tonevays.com. There's also a products and services section with on-demand videos, and these will cost you a little bit of money, but they are certainly a lot more advanced. Those interested in the MRI indicator, which I use constantly to try and guide me through trading in the markets, can check out products and services, MRI indicator. We have 2 events coming up. The Financial Summit in Dubai, which is an event for traders, hedge funds, money managers, VCs, basically anything and everything high net worth finance. It is an event for the high net worth individual. If you find this hotel on the internet, you will not be able to find a room there for less than $1,000 a night. 5 nights of this $1,000 a night room is included with the Financial Summit registration. Unconfiscatable is coming to Las Vegas. Join us for what I believe is the biggest maximalist Bitcoin only event in the world. Not a fan of the word maximalist. Bitcoin only event in the world. Not the only Bitcoin only event in the world, but one of the most Bitcoin only events in the world. So go ahead and join us in Vegas. Tickets are on sale. The carnivory dinner will be the first to sell out. Poker will be the second to sell out. We are going to be adding really, really cool speakers as time passes. You can see some of them already. And it's going to be an excellent, excellent event. Yeah, so on ticket sales, where are we here? The carnivory dinner prices will rise once we sell our first 50 tickets to the carnivory out of 100. And you can see that there's 7 left, so we're running close there. Follow the Financial Summit and Unconfiscatable on YouTube and other forms of social media. Hey guys, we're gonna open another pack. By the time this show ends, I'm gonna open one more pack because I have not gotten a single one of 100 cards yet. So there's also another super cool website. I should actually show a different website. Like, this is a really cool website on the cards. I can only have so many tabs, right? Like, this literally describes every single card. I should add this to my video description as well. Like, whoever did this wiki on these Bitcoin cards is an incredible job. I mean, it's just so detailed. I mean, my card is there. details on my card. I mean, people can still fill this out, add more notes. I don't have my own Wikipedia page. I can have this Wikipedia page, and then maybe someone can use all of this Wikipedia info. And if someone's a Wikipedia admin, I would love a real Wikipedia page written. Maybe I should fill this out on myself so that whoever uses this information into a real wiki page. It would go a long way for me getting my Instagram check mark, which would be super cool. I should post more on Instagram. All right, back to the charts. Enough distraction. Daily chart. We have a little bit of a golden cross, not a real. Oh yeah, it is a real golden cross because that's my 50 and that's my 200. We have a golden cross on daily Bitcoin with 50 over 200. Now, if those of you that have watched my on-demand videos right here, the technical analysis and position risk management, this describes it super well. Those that did that course, you would know that this is not a buying opportunity. I'm sharing secrets from my course. This is never a buying opportunity on this golden cross. The reason this is never a buying opportunity is because the price is grossly overextended away from the cross. That's not a good time to buy. The best time to buy the golden cross is when price has pulled into the cross. So had price started falling sometime around mid-January, and the price had pulled back into the golden cross at this current period in time, this would be an incredible buying opportunity. But be it as it may, because the price is so far above the golden cross, it's not a good time to get into a bullish trade. The price tends to pull into the cross when the price was way above it during the time of the cross. So keep that in mind when trading golden and depth crosses. All right, let's get through the video because I'm dying to open one of those packs. All right, how we doing on the live chat, guys? Do you know when you will start a show focused on politics? I honestly don't know. I still have so much work to do, and I'll be honest with you guys. My number one, I'm still getting distracted again. My number one reason for not getting into politics is because I have lost somewhere between lost and not made any money on these conferences that I organize, and I really like my conferences. I really, really do. They're not even mine. They're more like independent entities. I really like the Financial Summit, and I really like Unconfiscatable. I also really liked Understanding Bitcoin, but I can't work on all of them. And if I go into politics, I could actually lose a lot of money on these conferences. And I am not ready to give up on the conferences. I know there is that book. I'm going to Google for it because I don't want to say it. Hold on, let me grab it. So I've never read this book. Oh, shit. That was my light falling. Hold on. That was this thing. Decided to collapse off my desk and almost onto me, but it's not that big and heavy. So let me, instead of going to Amazon, give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the book website. Everything always goes to Amazon. I'll just go to images. It's fine. Images. Grab an image. Here. And I'll throw in here. So my problem is that, is it going to open it or what? There, right? So the thing is, I would love to take this mentality and start a political channel. Unfortunately, I really do give an F about Unconfiscatable and the Financial Summit. And there are other people involved in this, and there are, other jobs involved in this. And all the people that are helping me and really love those events are doing everything in their power to stop me from doing a political channel, because they feel they would completely endanger those events. So one of two things needs to happen. Either I have to take the risk at completely taking a chance that the events, if the events don't work out and they don't, if they're losing me more money and I'm spending all my free time working on something that is losing me money, no matter how much I like it, eventually I will need to stop. Or the events have to be strong enough to prosper with me taking this mentality to my YouTube channel. And right now I'm kind of in the middle of no man's land with this. I don't really post MRI buys and sells in a Telegram group right now, but we may bring that back. I gotta see. Anyway, so oh, by the way, the Bitcoin halving is coming, but I don't know when it's coming. So I've been Googling when is the Bitcoin halving, and I see a website that has it as early as May 23rd, and then there is a website that has it as late as, March 23rd, right there. Oh, no, sorry, this is May 23rd. And then there's one more that has it also May 23rd. And then there's this one that has it March 28th. And then I saw another one that had it even earlier than that. So no one actually knows when the halving is at all. Like even the estimates are 2 months apart from each other. So, but I am going to keep an eye on when people think the halving is. Well, we'll see. The political channel will likely happen this year. It will likely happen this year, but right now I'm just hesitant. I also need to learn how to use Restream. I need to start learning how to use Rumble. Like the moment I start my political channel, I'm getting banned. I have to be fully prepared for a Twitter ban, YouTube ban, and that means that I will not be able to promote the events. If I did not have the events, I guarantee you this would now be a political channel. It would not be a trading channel. It would be a political channel. Now, I actually don't really make any money at the moment because I don't really sell anything other than a couple of courses. And so that's not the issue. The only business I would be endangering is the events business, because I would not be able to promote the events business on social media where I have all my followers, because I will be banned from that social media. So that is currently my issue as to why the political channel hasn't happened yet. Do you see similarities between current price and April 2019? No, I explained April 2019 in our last video or 2 videos ago. So please go back to my recent videos where we talked about that in detail. Your opinion on ordinals and recent explosion in average block size associated with them. I don't have much of an opinion on that. I mean, it is what it is. You pay for Bitcoin block space. If you want to put your NFTs on top of Bitcoin, at least you can claim that there's ownership of the NFT. I still think NFTs are stupid, but at least you can claim that you have real ownership. I mean, putting NFTs on Ethereum or OpenSea or one of those other databases that is completely centralized is just a total joke. So at least putting them on top of Bitcoin makes it a legitimate technology It doesn't mean that it's useful in any way. So I don't really have much of an opinion. I'm pretty sure I'm still shadow banned on Twitter. So back to the daily chart. The daily chart is just pulling back. There's actually nothing interesting in the daily chart. I do want to talk about the weather balloon, though. It is hilarious. That story had me cracking up all weekend. Oil. I am very interested in a bottom in oil next month with the monthly MRI buy. I am very surprised that oil prices have pulled back this far. Very, very surprised. But the MRI buy is coming. On a weekly scale, it's not very useful. On a weekly scale, it's actually pretty damn bearish. But we do have an MRI weekly support area right here at 65. People are really interested in natural gas. Natural gas is coming up on some major MRI milestones. So we will have an MRI buy next month, next week. On a monthly scale, we're kind of far away from the MRI. Now, this is natural gas. This is the futures of natural gas. There could be a different natural gas. But on a weekly scale, we are coming up on an MRI buy next week. And on a daily scale, we're going to have the second consecutive MRI buy at the very end of this week or early next week. So stars and the moon and Jupiter are aligning on natural gas if it continues to fall into early next week. I am very big on avocado consumption. I love my avocados. I would, in a perfect world, I would have an avocado tree in my backyard. Hopefully, if I'm living in Mexico, I will have one. And I would be eating at least one avocado a day. Well, 1 to 2 avocados a day. It depends on their size, I guess. Like the avocados down in Panama where I normally live, they're huge. Like one of those a day is like more than enough. Like it's like 3 Mexican avocados. They're huge. So, yeah, I'm very big on avocado consumption. But you gotta like peel the avocado properly. What people don't realize is the majority of the nutrients from the avocado is in the dark green part of the avocado, which is closest to the skin of the avocado. So if you're not literally scraping the dark green stuff off the skin of the avocado, you're not eating your nutrition from the avocado. So it's just because you're eating avocados doesn't mean you're getting the nutrients from the avocado. So you may want to do a little bit of research on how to eat an avocado. I know this sounds silly, but you'd be surprised what people don't know. My second favorite fruit besides the avocado is the kiwi fruit, and I eat that with the skin when I eat it. I've been to Medellin, Colombia. I like it. I need to go back. All right, do we have questions? I see my moderator sent me something. Yeah, the financial Twitter summit handle is really cool because I do have a bit of a research team there, and they are posting a bunch of research on the financial summit handle. I mean, I post on it as well sometimes, but we do have a research team. We just put out this Google thread. So go ahead and check it out. We're going to start doing more in-depth research. We're going to start posting MRI stuff. So as the financial research team gets better, we're going to start building some indicators. And of course, everything also has TA involved in it. So here's this will be a chart with Google. So check it out. And the people that are doing this are CMT, they're chartered market technicians, so they know how to trade. We're also starting a Discord. I've never been on Discord, but there will be a Financial Summit Discord channel, and I will be joining that channel, obviously. I'm part of the Financial Summit team. You don't peel an avocado. No, I do peel the avocado, but I peel it properly. Gold took a bit of a nosedive. It is actually sitting at very critical support. And I think that was a much needed correction. And I do think gold should start to rise at this point. Silver. Well, silver is going to do what gold does. It's silver is a bit of a shit coin to gold, to gold's gold. Yeah, a food and lifestyle channel would actually be a little bit interesting to me, but it will only cost money and it will never make any money, at least not for 3 to 4 years. So it's a decision I would have to make. When Bitcoin breaks 100,000, we can certainly discuss. At least while I do the financial stuff, at least every now and then someone buys an educational video, so it kind of pays for my time. If I start a lifestyle channel, there's not going to be any sponsors, there's not going to be any revenue, it will only be expenses. S&P 500, as you guys know, I am very bullish on the stock market, especially now that we've broken the prior swing high and this descending trend line, as I've been telling everyone we are very likely to do. And that's exactly what it did. The correlation, I see the S&P is pulling back. That is great. The S&P topped right on the MRI, and it right on the MRI resistance line as well with the reversal candle. This is and extension C. So I literally have 4 reasons. Just by looking at this chart alone, there is 4 reasons to get the hell out of the stock market on February 2nd. 4 reasons right there. You have 2 arrows from the 3 of them coming from the MRI itself. So there's 3 reasons to get out according to the MRI, and 1 reason to get out according to the shape of the candle. Now, the shape of the candle is the most important of the 4, but I don't know if the shape of the candle is more important than 3 MRI top indicators combined on a single candle. And this turned out to be a very accurate top call by the MRI. And let's see how deep this pullback is. Clearly, Bitcoin has rebounded today because the stock market has rebounded today. Bitcoin is waiting for stock market to get a direction going. We can take a look at a 10-minute chart. We can see if this happened on a 10 a.m. reversal, and it did not. It happened at 10:30 a.m. Not ideal. Well, we did have a 10 a.m. reversal actually to the downside. There was a 10 a.m. reversal. See, here's the market opening. Here's the market going into 10 a.m. and it crashed at exactly 10 a.m. So there was a 10 a.m. reversal. I just wasn't looking at it right. Right here, that is our 10 a.m. candle. So we reversed at the end of that candle. So the 10-10 candle reversed the market for a 26-point move. That is pretty damn awesome. This would have been a little tricky for me personally to time because of what happened in the morning. I never trade the opening 10-minute candle. Even the opening 20 minutes of the market, I never trade. The greatest amount of money I have ever lost in trading was trading market open. It's like a personal meme. It's like that Bart meme when Bart is like writing the same thing on a chalkboard over and over and over. So for me in trading, it would be me saying, I will never trade market open. I will never trade market open. I will never trade market open. The amount of money I've lost in my life when I was an active day trader of S&P futures, trading market open is unreal. I will never, ever in my life trade that again. I will advise anyone that is learning how to trade to never, ever, ever, ever trade market open, which means anywhere between 9 in the morning and I would say 9:50 in the morning. Don't ever, ever trade that time period because this is what usually happens. It goes up in the first 2 minutes and then on a flip of a dime, it comes down and falls like, 10 points. So I will never trade that. 10 a.m. reversal was decent. And even though it didn't last very long, it was certainly pretty damn deep. Sometimes I eat raw pork. I haven't eaten raw pork in a while. I definitely eat a lot of raw beef. It's been a while since I ate raw pork. Not really sure why I have gold futures up over here. Is there anything we need to look at? Let's see how the stocks are doing. Let's look at Bitfarms. Should be a little bit on a pullback today. No, not really. Well, it did pull back at the end of last week. So it's consolidating. I'm still waiting for it to pull back to that 70-cent range. But it may not. It may never pull back to 70 cents. So that's all I have. Let's open a pack of cards. And open a pack of these bad boys. This is what I'm searching for. I'm searching for one of these cards. And then we can talk about the weather balloon, which is hilarious. The Chinese weather balloon that was flying over America for like a month, while the American military, whose number one priority is gender inclusivity, was deciding what to do about the Chinese weather balloon. And after it finished collecting all of its data across the United States and not sending it to any Chinese satellite, I'm sure, after that was all over, that's when they decided to shut it down. Not only did they use the most expensive means of shutting it down, oh man, they also can't even friggin' find the damn thing, which is a whole the clown show surrounding the balloon is so funny. Like you can't help but laugh. I don't want to look at the shitcoins right now. I'm about to be super happy. I don't know what card is in the back, but it's going to be a good card. But I don't know what card it is, but it's going to be a good card. Let's stop the screen share. So here we go. We have, oh man, I got to look it through my own camera. What do we got here? Taxation is theft card. This is one of the coolest arts of all of the cards. We have, oh, the blockchain card. This is actually somewhat rare. There is a rare version of this card, but I think this card itself is a little bit on the rare side. So I may want to put that into a protective case. Put that on the left side. We have a Federal Reserve card. All the art on these is cool. We have the Richard Nixon card, taking us off the gold standard. We have a Bitcoin card, literally a card that just explains Bitcoin. I like the first thing in the back. It says 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. I don't know if the camera will focus. There it is. Super cool. An economics card. There you go. Should teach you about money or time. Gold. Gold. Talked about gold a lot today. Swan as one of the resources. Very good resource. I have an affiliate link for Swan. If anyone's interested, go to tonevays.com affiliates. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The FUD card. The influencer card. Still not sure why John McAfee is on there with these legends, but really cool. And I got a Hal Finney card. This is my second Hal Finney card. Not the card I was going for. I was going for the Max Kaiser or the Tone Vays card. So this is now available for trade. This is a 1 of 100 Hal Finney card. You can see the number. This is number 71 out of 100. This is going into a protective case. I was hoping it was a Max Kaiser or a Cypherpunks. They're equally valuable. But now that I have 2 Hal Finney cards, there is a Telegram group with like 200 people of all these card stackers. So if someone has 2 Cypherpunk cards and they don't have a Hal Finney, they're both part of the legend section, that is now available for a clean 1-to-1 trade. My second Hal Finney card is in pretty damn good or perfect condition. You saw me take it out. It is now in its protective case, and it is now available for trade. Since I pulled a high quality card, this will be the only pack I open today. I'm going to leave on a high note. I'm not going to take another chance. We're going to open another one. They're almost out of boxes too. So I got to make a decision whether I need to buy another box. I still have not gotten the Tone Vays card, but I now have 2 Hal Finney cards. Way more important legend than me. Guys, I don't care what people put or don't put into the Bitcoin blockchain. If the technology is there for them to stick useless shit into the Bitcoin blockchain, they want to pay for that space, they can do it and pay for that space. Like I'm not here to tell other people what to do. So, we want to talk about the stupid weather balloon? Hilarious. Hold on, let me see here. Hold on. USA shuts down Chinese balloon. This is so funny. What's a good link here? So where do you even begin? I would love to. So the United States watched this Chinese balloon go through the entire state of, let me pull up a Google map. Need a Google map. This is hilarious. All right. So they literally watched this thing leave China. Well, they didn't realize it then, right? It went through the state of Alaska, which is gigantic, right? And through Canada. I mean, Canada is owned by the Chinese, so that, and Justin Trudeau thinks that China is the greatest political system ever conceived in the history of the planet. So Justin Trudeau would just love to be more like Xi Jinping. So they would never touch the satellite. They were probably begging the Chinese to share all the data that they were collecting on Canada, to share with Canada. And hey, how can we have more of these balloons? So Canada wasn't going to do anything about this. They love China. And then it went into the United States. It flew across the entire United States. And when it finally left the United States and it was over water, just within the first, 200 miles or something, right, still in U.S. territory, not international waters, they shut it down. They can't find it. Last I heard, they couldn't find it because they're grossly incompetent. And they waited this entire time to shut it down. They spent probably $500,000 shooting it down. They used the most expensive plane, the F-22, which has never seen any combat. This is the most combat this plane has ever seen. They used that costs approximately $150,000 for the missile alone to shoot down this weather balloon, which the plane probably could have done with their cheapest, gun. So they could have spent, $1,000 shooting it down, but they decided to use their fanciest plane, which probably cost $40,000-$50,000 just to get it up in the air to shoot this thing down. So the cost of equipment alone to shoot down this thing was probably over $500,000. Okay. They of course waited till it collected all the data, and it's just like hilarious. It's like you're watching the clown show, formerly known as the U.S. military, in real life. It was a giant spectacle. They could have taken this thing out the moment it entered Alaska without social media making like they could have just done this silently. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a show of force to show Putin, how strong the U.S. Air Force is, because it took them 3 weeks and to show off their most impressive plane. Now, it is interesting that the missile that they used is, it was like an infrared-seeking missile, so that part was a little bit interesting. So the balloon does not have a heat signature, but the missile was a self-guided missile. And apparently, the pilot of the plane has, in his helmet, is able to look at the target, and he targets the missile basically based on what he looked at, and that's where the missile is going to go. So that part is actually pretty cool. But the fact that each missile costs $200,000, and they decided, and this is like their test run. It like I said, yeah, it's cool, but this plane is now that the plane has actually flown and fired a missile, it's going to cost the U.S. government another $200,000 to maintenance this plane after its incredible mission of shooting down a weather balloon. It's like, to me, this is actually hilarious, but I don't know what you guys think. By the way, I give this a non-trivial chance that this balloon is not even a Chinese balloon. It was a U.S. balloon from the beginning, and the entire thing literally a show of force, how incredible the new F-22 and their new guided missile system is that is able to follow a target that doesn't even have a heat signature, to try to show off the U.S. Air Force new technology. But this entire operation probably cost over $1 million. China said it was theirs. Yeah, I know. China said it was theirs, and China said it was only collecting weather data, which is also bullshit. I was joking. Like we know it's China. Yeah, if China decides to put 100 of these balloons over the United States, the United States would not actually be able to shoot them all down because they don't have enough of these planes and they don't have enough of these missiles and they don't have enough budget to shoot down 100 of these balloons in this sort of way. Yeah, I mean the plane had to be tested on something that isn't, an actual military target, like a real one. And at the same time, they did need to test it on something. So it was a nice little test run for America's best technology and at an unreasonably high cost. James Tucker says China also said they're growing potatoes on the dark side of the moon. Oh, I'm not on screen share? Crap. Where's my... Yeah, I just had the US map up. There wasn't much there. Thought I was on screen share. Well, screen share was this. Screen share was... All right, what the hell? Trying to do screen share. Screen share was just like a Google map. And yeah, so the balloon basically went this way. It went from the tip of Alaska, through Canada, cares about British Columbia, and through the center of the United States, and they finally shut it down off the coast of North Carolina, I think. Not really sure where it was going to go after. Like China is kind of on the other side, so I'm not sure which direction it would have gone. Yeah, but yeah, here's the story. Is the U.S. most expensive plane and U.S. most expensive missile was required to shoot down a little tiny balloon. Why didn't they want to retrieve the satellite hanging off the balloon? Well, because I don't think anyone in the United States actually knows how to think anymore. We are living in a world of idiocracy. Yeah, the smart thing to do would have to find a way to capture the balloon. It's not like it's going to run away from you. Trust me, that's what the Russians would have done. If that was a US balloon flying over Russia. And they wouldn't have told you about it. They would have captured the balloon. They would have seen what's going on there, Just like when Russia hacked the phone of the British Prime Minister. What's her name? Liz Truss. They hacked her phone, so they knew exactly that she was the one responsible for blowing up the pipeline, and they didn't tell anybody until way after. Like they knew they knew the moment the pipeline blew up who did it because they had a phone hack. Like this wasn't like a social media spectacle ahead of time, giving away their strategy of information gathering. But the United States loves to do it the opposite. It's like a combination of Clown World and that movie Up. This is why the U.S. military is a bit of a clown show. Well, they can't retrieve the satellite because they can't even find it. Last I heard, they can't find the damn thing. Like they couldn't even track it as it was falling out of the sky. right? So this is why you shoot these things over land. When it goes over land that doesn't have people living on it. And there's plenty of land where aren't people living on it. Or shoot it the moment it leaves land. Or you shoot it before it gets to the land. Like, it's just stupidity. What country even lets a spy vehicle enter their airspace? The US military. This is why every time I see these like analysts on TV talking about the superiority of US military, I just can't help but laugh. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not laughing at individual American soldiers. I think most of them are pretty good. The problem is people that are telling them what to do are not very bright. And they're not put there for their military expertise. They're put there for their political connections. Yeah, I know people are going to be upset that I'm talking shit about the US military, but let's just say I personally would rather be in a country not involved in a war than having depend on the US military against Russia or China to protect me. I'd rather stay out of the damn thing. I think the US is totally screwed if they have to go up against Russia and China together. I think if they go up against one of them individually, the US military will hold up if it's taking place in closer to the United States, right? So if the war comes to the US military will prevail over China or Russia, but China and Russia ain't going to attack the US. The US is going to attack either Russia or China in their backyard. And if the US military goes to attack Russia in their backyard, the US military is screwed. If the US military goes to attack China in their backyard, the US military, I think, is also screwed. But if the fight comes to the US from either of those countries, then I think the US military will prevail. That's just my non-professional opinion. It depends on where it takes place. However, if China and Russia combine their militaries and they come after the US in the US, I don't think the US military will prevail versus both of them combined, even with the home field advantage. Now we are removing nuclear war from this equation. Like if there's an agreement, we're not going to use nukes, which of course the US will. Their policy is we can shoot first and no one tells us what to do. But if you remove nuclear weapons as an option, I don't think the US military will beat China plus Russia together, even with the home field advantage. That shows you my confidence in American military. Russian-German alliance is America's worst nightmare. Economically, yeah, but America made sure that can't happen by blowing up the pipeline. So that's that's irrelevant. You also have to realize that if there comes a point where Russia and China join militaries, North Korea would join them and Iran would join them. And North Korean military and Iranian military, they're actually not a joke anymore. I mean, they're not on a level of Russia, China, US. They're not even on the level of Turkey, but they're not a joke. I mean, they're not something to sneeze at. Like if you combine all the military in Europe without US assistance versus North Korean military, I would actually bet on the North Korean military. Like I would take the North Korean military over all of Western Europe combined if they don't have US assistance. So again, you can laugh at the North Korean military, but unlike Europe, they actually have one. And Iran is even better than North Korea. And trust me, if there is a full partnership in military between Russia and China, Turkey is going to be very, very interested in joining the winning side instead of fighting for the West. So the United States has a big ass problem right now. And they created this problem by turning Russia into an enemy versus turning Russia into an ally. Because if the United States had spent the last 20 years making Russia an ally instead of an enemy, then Russian military could have been doing joint military exercises with the US together. And now Iran and Turkey would have certainly joined that military alliance, and North Korea would have potentially had to choose between China or Russia. And it's a 50-50 which direction North Korea would have gone, because it kind of borders both countries. So North Korea would have had to stay neutral. So North Korea would be playing the Turkey card right now. Meanwhile, Turkey and Iran would have been on the side of, well, Turkey would have been on the side of Russia, US, and Iran would have been on the side of Russia. But no, the United States had to go and create an enemy out of Russia. So good job. Good job, US State Department. Stupidity at its finest. Like, I don't really know, like, I don't even know what could they possibly have done that was dumber over the last 20 years. Did you guys see what Hillary Clinton said? Again, this is why I need a political channel. So like a few weeks ago, right? Hillary Clinton talks about how they're going to grind Russia down the way Russia is going to lose in Ukraine the way Russia lost in Afghanistan. This is literally what Hillary Clinton said. They're going to grind Russia down by doing a proxy war in Ukraine, by supporting Ukraine the way America supported Afghanistan in the 80s. And Russia ended up withdrawing from Afghanistan with their tail between their legs, and how they lost in Afghanistan, and how victorious the Afghanis were with US assistance in preventing Russia from taking over their country. What she forgot to mention was the help that the US provided to Afghanistan in order to defeat Russia was literally to create the Taliban and create Osama bin Laden and train Osama bin Laden to fight the Russians, hence giving him the capability to create 9/11 20 years later. Now, of course, it's debatable. You guys, everyone has their conspiracy theories, right? So Hillary Clinton's amazing plan for Ukraine is to replicate Afghanistan. So my question to Hillary Clinton is, okay, so if it all plays out, what's going to happen to the US after Ukraine defeats Russia the way Afghanistanis defeated Russia What's going to be the blowback to the US? Motorist, that could be true. Like I'm not gonna go into that rabbit hole. I'm not gonna go into the rabbit hole of Saudi's involvement. But we all know who it was that did it, right? And we all know who created the person that did it, and that was through the proxy war with Russia in Afghanistan. Yeah, Phil, I agree. I completely agree. The United States military is more concerned about pronouns and the gender equality of generals, and making sure that every soldier takes a sensitivity class and refers to every other soldier by a proper pronoun. I mean, that's a bigger interest to them than actual military strategy. And which is why I can't possibly see the US military winning anything on Russia's or China's doorstep. All right, guys. On this note, we're going to call it a day. And I will see you all on the next one. Later, guys.